M.
Charlie M?
Charlie M?
Charlie M? You make me pop your fucking eye out of your head to protect that piece of shit! Charlie M? You dumb motherfucker!
Kill you. Fuck, kill me.
You motherfucker, you! Frankie, do him a fucking favor.
The word got around that finally there was a real gangster in town. Nicky was the new boss of Las Vegas.
Charlie M.
Hello everyone, this is Peak Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you continuing our movie review series of 10 out of 10 films, and this edition we will focus on Martin Scorsese's dazzling gangster masterpiece, Casino. Released in November the 22nd, 1995, it stars Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Sharon Stone, James Woods, and of course it was directed by Martin Scorsese. Now the story and setup within Casinos that we are based in the early 1970s, where all of the top mafia bosses within Chicago decide to set up and run casinos within Las Vegas as a way to make lots of money out of the police jurisdictions from Chicago. Now in order for the operation to work, they need someone sharp, so they hire gambling expert Ace Rothstein to run one of the biggest casinos, the Tangiers. They also assign gangster Nicky to be Ace's right-hand man, protecting Ace from anyone who wants to exploit the casino. Ace also finds love seemingly when he meets casino hustler Ginger, and Ace finds himself constantly conflicted as to whether he can fully trust her. Now in the beginning, running a casino is the dream operation, generating lots of money, high status, and all of the mafia bosses are happy and everything seems complete. But all of a sudden things start to get more complicated when Nicky relocates to Vegas and starts to become a loose cannon, looking to take over, drawing attention from the police and even causing annoyance from the mafia bosses themselves. Slowly and surely things all start to unravel, tensions heighten, mistakes are made, and the whole casino operation begins to become under threat. Now to simply put it, Casino is one of the greatest gangster epics ever. It's an absolute exhilarating, exceptional piece of filmmaking, a 3-hour masterpiece of kinetic energy and composition. I previously reviewed Oliver Stone's magnificent JFK from 1991, complimenting it so much for being compelling and commanding your attention throughout its 3-hour runtime, and that distinction goes very much the same for Casino. There is never one lagging moment in its watchability. Everything here, from the acting, the editing, the music, the cinematography, is truly on a stellar level. This is truly a tour de force in terms of movie making. Now we all revere Martin Scorsese as one of the greatest directors of all time, familiar with so much of his great films with the likes of Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and in this review in particular we draw attention to his seminal gangster film Goodfellas from 1990, for which Casino draws so much comparison to. Now most consider Goodfellas to be Scorsese's best gangster movie, but for me Casino is actually the superior movie. With Goodfellas, Scorsese presented these gangsters almost as celebrity-like figures, but with Casino, he shows the criminal figures in a far more truest sense, introducing us to a much more wider universe, making it a much more layered and encompassing movie. And Scorsese showcases this throughout the first stages of the film, where the level of world building is unbelievable. Throughout the narration of both Ace and Nicky, we get to learn the whole criminal setup from the bosses, how the casinos are run, how the scammers are dealt with, where the money goes, which individuals are on the take, how they evade the FBI, who gets certain approvals, and how the money gets given back to the overall bosses. It's all just so fascinating, a bit like a roadmap into the epicenter of organised crime, and Scorsese with his typical style of hyper editing, quick cuts, scene transitions, a huge playlist of songs and soundtrack, all making it an epic and real cinematic experience. The film looks absolutely fabulous and gorgeous, full of lighting and colour and vivid energy. Now for all of Scorsese's excellence and direction, the film is bolstered by a trinity of incredible lead performances. Robert De Niro as Ace is his usual strong, focused and compelling standard. Ace we see is so detailed, methodical and scientific when it comes to gambling and running a casino. His mindset and mentality is very much that of a brain surgeon. We see how he watches the dealers, integrates the bookie joints into the casinos. He analyses the weight of the dancers. We have an absolute hilarious scene where he pays attention to the amount of blueberries in each muffin. So when it comes to running a casino, he's exceptional, weighing up all of the percentages to each move with absolute precision. But Ace is a classic example of being brilliant at work but absolutely hopeless when it comes to love and life. And we see that in his relationship with Ginger, where he foolishly falls in love with as much uncertainty, and this really takes its toll on him. And in Ginger, we come to another great performance from Sharon Stone, who is initially a hustler within the casinos, cleaning out rich guys and eventually leaving them broke, seemingly in control for the most part, her only weakness being that she has a certain attachment to a small-time pimp in Lester Diamond, played in a smaller role by James Woods. We eventually see Ginger become more fractured and depreciate throughout the story, getting trenched up in both the booze and the drugs. Now, at this time, having risen to become the most hottest and prolific actress within the early to mid 1990s, Sharon Stone was primarily famed for her looks and sex appeal through the likes of Total Recall, Basic Instinct of course, and Sliver, and Casino was that role that finally gained her much critical kudos and respectability. And it's certainly a fiery performance from Sharon Stone, as she shares plenty of intense scenes with both Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, and for the most part she pretty much holds her own, and she gained a lot of critical reception, and this resulted in her winning a Golden Globe for her overall performance. We then move on to the film's most impactful and electrifying performance, and that is Joe Pesci in the role as Nicky Santoro, the infamous gangster. We learn early on throughout the film that him and Ace are longtime friends and have for the most part been a brotherly bond, and we see that throughout the film. We see this very much in the opening scene when Nicky comes out and carries his orders out to a T, protecting Ace. That first sequence where we see someone insulting Ace and Nicky takes to a pen and stabs him with it and starts kicking him under the table. We have another scene where we see two people looking to exploit the gangster and Nicky warns them off. And then we get one of the movie's most infamous scenes, making an example of a gangster by putting his head in a vice. It's a scene that is both shockingly violent and extremely funny, and it really embodies Joe Pesci's performance overall, the infamous Charlie M scene, and very much provides the movie with so much intensity and momentum through his performance. And Joe Pesci is truly a revelation here, bringing his usual hyperactive energy, which has always made him such a compelling actor. Now, of course, throughout the years, many have compared Joe Pesci's performance in this movie to his iconic role as Tommy from Goodfellas. And yes, there are similarities in terms of the veracity and the abrasiveness of the character, but Nicky is a far more charismatic personality who is very much more likeable to an extent. As violent as he is, he's also very funny whenever he's shaking down bookies, threatening bankers, or hitting people with phones or insulting people within the casino. Pesci is every bit as hilarious when playing this role, and it just makes Nicky Santoro a far more layered and compelling character to watch. I love all the scenes between Nicky and Ace, emphasising very much the great screen chemistry between Joe Pesci and De Niro, their dynamic already utilised before by Martin Scorsese previously, both in Mean Streets, Raging Bull and Goodfellas of course. I love all of the scenes with Ace and Nicky. We look at particular when they go to Ace's house after Nicky has threatened the banker, and also a meeting in the desert in a gorgeously shot sequence where we see the two arguing, and the energy between the two actors is just electric, just like the movie itself, amongst this fabulous setting within a desert. And it's a fantastic scene and emphasises again the true greatness of both the actors involved. So as usual with this movie series, the score is 10 out of 10. So when we talk about the overall release of Casino, on a budget of between $40 and $50 million, it grossed over $116.10 million worldwide, so it was a sound financial success, remembering that these type of movies, whilst critically well received, weren't exactly blockbuster material, as in the 90s we were shifting much more to the CGI blockbusters, but the fact that it was a Scorsese gangster movie starring Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci would always bring a lot of hype towards the film, and plus seeing Sharon Stone in a far more dramatic role attracted a lot of curiosity to see how well she could perform alongside more established actors. Now Casino for the most part got a lot of positive reviews from critics who initially deemed it inferior to Goodfellas, but over the years and time, Casino has gained a far more appreciation and reverence, with many now deeming it equally as good or even better than Casino. And in my personal opinion, I still think it's a superior movie. I just think there's far more of an epic and wider scope. We get much more expansiveness in terms of the world building and characters, with Scorsese showing these gangsters as they truly are. There's a true assortment of dazzling colours and transitions, which just make this far more of an artistic piece, as well as we get the compelling performances from the three actors, and the fact that I think there's more layers and depth to this movie overall than Goodfellas, and it's a far more ambitious gangster movie, and that's why I think it's a superior film overall, and that's why I deem Casino one of the best gangster films of all time, and definitely worth a ranking of 10 out of 10. So those are my thoughts and feelings and review on Casino. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you deem it to be one of Martin Scorsese's best movies? And how do you think Joe Pesci performed in his role as Nicky Santoro? Do you think it's overall one of his best performances? And how do you think Casino compares to the other gangster films, both by Martin Scorsese and other revered gangster films overall, such as the likes of Scarface and Carlito's Way and Donnie Brasco as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments overall. If you enjoy these reviews and you have other movies that you deem a 10 out of 10, then let me know in the comments, and if I have seen those movies, then I'll provide a review with those also as well. Please also hit and like those subscription and notification and like buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content and movie reviews like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.